Title: The Echo of Fire. There was a moaning coming from the open barracks. At first it was soft, almost a hum, like a bad dream still dragging its feet through the halls. But it grew louder, more guttural, bouncing off the concrete walls in the pre-dawn dark. It pulled me from sleep like a fish on a line. I sat up on my bunk, dazed and cold. It was Evans. He was curled on his side, rocking slightly. The sound he made was neither a song nor a sob, but something in between, like his body trying to remember how to feel safe. I watched him for a moment, unsure if I should approach, if I even had the tools to help. Then, just as suddenly, it stopped. He lay still, eyes open, staring at the nothing above him. By chow time, he was gone. Later that Sunday, Private Allen was in his quarters, staring at the ceiling fan like it was spelling out messages only he could read. He'd burst into laughter, then shift violently, top sobbing into his sleeves. At some point, he'd started slicing tiny, deliberate cuts into his arm with a razor blade. Not deep, not for death, just enough to feel something different than the inside noise. Medics came with a stretcher. They rolled him away gently, like he was glass. Private Eskridge had gone quiet weeks ago. He lived off base with his wife and newborn, but you could see it in his eyes during formation, like he wasn't there, like his body was marching and his mind was lost in fog. Brandy became his crutch. One day, he stopped showing up entirely. Rumor was he staged a limp convincing enough for a medical discharge. His family left the next day. No one heard from him again. Me? I was coming apart in a way you can't show on paper. I filled out the forms. I told them I couldn't hold a rifle anymore. Couldn't stand the weight of it in my hands. Couldn't trust myself with the thoughts that came when I held it. I said the words, conscientious objector. They stared like I'd grown horns. Their solution? Pull my wisdom teeth. Maybe it's an infection, the doc said, handing me a plastic syringe and a bottle of antibiotics. I went back to my cot with a mouthful of gauze, wondering how removing bone was supposed to heal the soul. We were all cannon crew, trained to load, aim, fire, again and again until we forgot the sound of silence. Day after day, we stood beside the howitzer, letting it punch the sky. The blast shook more than the air. It shook something inside us. Not just hearing damage, something deeper, something that buzzed through our blood, made our thoughts scatter, our dreams turn sour. No one ever talked about the misfire. It happened fast. A shell detonated inside the chamber, too soon, too loud. The blast threw Evans 10 feet. Allen was closest. He didn't speak for days after. Eskridge saw the blood and the black smoke and couldn't stop trembling. I remember the taste of metal in my mouth, like the world had turned to shrapnel. But it didn't kill anyone. Not physically. After that, we weren't the same. No one came to brief us. No counselor sat down. The Army called it a malfunction and moved on. But it left something behind, like a frequency only we could hear, humming through the days and nights. One by one, we were stripped down, not by war, not even by the enemy, but by the echo of our own gun reverberating through our minds long after the smoke cleared. They say the cannon is the heart of the artillery, but no one warns you what happens when your heart starts firing back.